Hey Todd, I am working on your 57 setup, and one thing I did notice is that looking at the 34 or 57 chart coming all the way down when it goes like this, it's still long because your EMAs are set to be long. So I do think we should have a rule in there that says price has to be above here, above the EMAs, because what will happen is if it's down here underneath, it's still long based on the EMAs, and it'll take the trade way down here. And I don't know if you want it like that. I think I would assume you would mandate that it needs to be above the EMA's price. That is, has to lead. But I could be wrong, so I'm going to let it go. But this is what you have set up right now, and there you're in. Now, if you notice, I think we had a 10 tick wick mandate, which obviously we've satisfied. The EMA itself is way up here, the yellow one. I guess I should probably do it over here, it'd be easier. There's the yellow touch trigger, but we're mandating the wick, so that forces it down even further. I have no clue what your stops are, so I don't even know what to put on there, or your targets for that matter. So in any event, that's the setup though. So we're gonna get popped out, and as soon as we do, you're gonna have an order right here at the there it is right there. So now let's move this over. So now if you notice the 10 tick mandate, let me measure this, is right there, not the EMA. So it's the 10 tick mandate that we have on there. And there it is. So again, I have no clue what your targets are going to be, but we got to change that stop or extend the wick. Again, this is where your wife would look at the stats and find out what your MAE is, and on based on your statistics of your trades that you've been using. And if your MAE is 30 or 40, well, then obviously we got to have that. I gotta slow this bad boy down a little bit more. And there's one setup that I put on here, or one more rule, and that is I had to mandate that the price bar, a 13.2 price bar, that is, be on the trade side of the EMAs. Had to be leading the EMA, because there's no way that this was all red without that, and there's no way you'd want to do that. So we could take it off if you want. I don't know what your rules are just quite yet, but of the ones I do know, um, I just went ahead and stuck in a price bar had to be above it. And so here we go now. Here's the new condition. Our EMAs just met. Our price bar is above this yellow, which is the touch trigger. And let me turn this on real quick. Auto there. And you'll notice that as soon as I get that, we're right at the touch trigger, but we're also at 10 ticks. So this should be, yeah, 10 ticks. So we're mandating at 10 ticks. So that's why it's going to go there. So let me change some stop management on here, because the ones that I have are just, we didn't talk about that, and they're just way too tight. So let me throw something on and be back. Okay, so I threw a little stop management on here. So let's go again. You might see this fluctuate back and forth between the EMA, which is the touch trigger that we're using, and the 10 tick wick. So whichever one's greater. So that's why you kind of see it flip flop back and forth there. Now I don't know what your logic is, but I put a 2-to-1 ratio in there of 100 tick target, 50 tick stop. I have no clue what you're doing, and I threw some trail magic in there, so you won't lose money. You could change that on your own in Group C. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So there's 100. I can measure it, but I don't think I need to. But there it is. There it is. And if I go down here to there, there's 50. Okay, good enough. So I don't know if that's not. Have you noticed we're mandating a wick here? Okay, so this is what I was talking about, that rule. We're mandating that the price bar, which it is borderline above the yellow touch trigger. So that's why it's starting to set up, but we really need this bar to close to stop and get out of this area here. All right, there we go again. So I'm back, and a few things I'd recommend. I did your I've changed some settings in here, and I put price has to be leading the white one, otherwise you don't want it. I'm assuming I certainly wouldn't want it. So in any like right here, you don't want it when it gets up that high. In the negative direction. And then the other thing, we could change that. But the other thing is, I would have you and your wife, since she's more into that geeky stuff, look at your MAE within the last month, and on your average trades, or 100 of your average trades or whatever, and find out how much heat you're taking, because I think that could be cleaned up. Because we're getting in on this yellow here, or maybe a little after, depending on the 10 ticks, which isn't a lot. So, but it's always taking more than that. So there's no reason why I don't feel we can't mandate a maybe more than that. Mandate a 15 tick. I'm thinking, I don't know how much heat it takes on these trades, so you have to let me know on that. But let's just see what happens, man. And this is something else. You might want to look at the spread between these two. That's this first. We have it turned off, but this first number right here is what the spread of these two would be. And when they start getting all roped together, they get tighter. So I don't know what's better, but needless to say, we are at this pivotal spot where order filled. I personally think you need to max this thing out, being so big. And that way, when you get stopped out, it won't turn on again. You don't want to keep doing it, because you'll be at the end. Now, the other thing we could do is you could just kill this right here, like that, and just let it rip. Because I got the management taking an effect when it gets deeper. NASDAQ short. Yeah, see, I don't like this. We know it's going to pull back. We knew that. It's just too deep. That's going to probably convert. All right, I'm going to pause it so there's no more taking. I think that's enough for one day. If it gets popped out, it'll be over. I think we've got a good foundation, though. I still need more, rules of what you're using, but at least it's a start.
Stop filled.